Beautiful.
Hello, and welcome to Girls, Gays, Animes. I am your host, Valzaraptor. I'm here with my co-host, Doki Doki Bun Bun, as well as our special guest, Mim. And today, we are talking about the Hellaverse.
Woo!
Spooky.
All right, my favorite
So for
thing.
anyone who doesn't know what the Hellaverse is, we have brought our expert, Mim, on the Hellaverse. So she's going to kick us off and tell us, first of all, what the Hellaverse is, and then what that means to us in regards to YouTube series and TV shows and everything that we love about it.
The good stuff.
Okay, so I made a little presentation, because I did. I like making presentations. I'm a teacher. It's literally 80% of my job. Okay, so the Hellaverse is the combined universe of Hazbin Hotel and Helluva. Hazbin Hotel, they're both created by Vivian Medrano, and they're both in the same universe, but they're two separate shows, and they are technically, there's two different copyright things going on. So some characters that you'll see in one show, you will never see in the other, as far as we know, for right now. But we have the Hellaverse. So, Vivian Medrano, all right, I love her. She's great. All right, she's a Frederick Homie. Great. Love a Frederick Homie. All right. She's Salvadorian American. She started YouTube in 2012.
For the listeners who are not in the United States, when Mim says Frederick Homie, she means that they're from Maryland.
Yes, they're from Maryland. I'm also from that area, so it was really exciting to see that she's from my hometown. It was really cool. Cute. But yeah, she started her YouTube in 2012. She had a following. She went to school for animation. She was really well known for bright, bubbly, sort of poppy, and almost furry inspired art. She had a webcomic called Zoophobia back in 2012. I think she ended it around 2017 or so because she was trying to focus full time on Helluva and Hazbin Hotel. And she started her company Spindlehorse in 2018. So she's been around for a while. She's had a following on YouTube, and a lot of her stuff is because of her fans and because she had a Patreon.
Do you know where she went to school for animation?
I did. I looked it up. I do believe she went to school in San Francisco. Let me...
That wasn't Zootopia. That's
right.
my contribution.
You did.
Zootopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I did there? Yeah.
Hang on. I'm Googling this. Oh, she went to the School of Visual Arts in New York City.
Oh, okay.
I was like, go on.
That is vague.
Very different. Very different. But she went there. Okay.
Okay, so she went to school in New York. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Vivian Medrano has the big mad internet. Okay, listen. I'm going to address this first before I get into any lore. People, for some reason, have a stick up their butt for no goddamn reason about Vivian Medrano.
Pop off.
And they will, pick at things that happened or whatever, or stuff that she drew or whatever. Nothing egregious. And if it is, it's not egregious. There's nothing that happened, and any slight problematic things happened when she was a teenager. So people, I feel are just kind of big mad because she's a woman who defends herself on the internet when people call her out on stupid shit. And people get mad. Right.
Okay, so people are mad that... Sorry, I'm reading ahead on the slide.
Yes.
So people are mad that she drew furries?
That's common for people to get mad about that. You see a lot of that.
Show me a visual artist that hasn't drawn at least one furry.
People ick people's yums all the time.
I know.
I'm more confused
don't yuck someone's yum.
I'm more confused when you say character design, because I'm pretty familiar with her stuff. What about her character design were people mad about?
Okay, so character design, a lot of people are mad because she draws a lot of her characters very thin, and they seem to ignore the fact that she does have a lot of different shapes of characters in her show, but apparently because it's not the immediate main cast, people are how dare you? But she draws her characters in a cartoony way, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you drew so-and-so this thin. Exactly. I'm it's... Buddy, they're cartoons, but people got mad at the same thing for Steven Universe, right?
I mean,
you can never please everybody.
I get wanting diversity, but I don't know that wanting more diversity is enough to cancel someone versus maybe politely say, hey, could we see more diversity?
Exactly.
Right. I mean,
but
she's drawing owl people. You know, like...
I've seen some chubby owls.
Have you seen chubby owl people god things?
Only in my dreams.
Beautiful. And then a lot of people like will nitpick at certain episodes where she does talk about the sex industry in hell, forgetting again, it's spoilers in hell. So it's in hell, but she does a good job of showing like the negative and positive aspects of it. But people see Angel Dust, who is a character who is a prostitute. Essentially, he's a porn star. I shouldn't say prostitute.
Yeah, he's a porn star.
And he's not treated very well. It's the dark side of the industry. And then you have characters that are very openly in sex work in other parts of her show. And nobody's talking about how, like, oh, well, it's positive there. So people just nitpick. I just wanted to kind of point that out, that people have issues whenever they see somebody on the internet doing things.
Right.
They have to be pissy about it. Especially because her, again, like, when her genre, what she does is very adult-focused. And I think it does attract a lot of people who are... I don't want to say, like, people who used to be on Tumblr, but it's people who used to be on Tumblr, okay? We're all...
No, that feels...
I think that's fair.
That felt valid.
Yeah, totally fair.
We're all nerds. She attracts a lot of people who are into anime and nerdy stuff, and people who like a lot of show tunes. Duh.
Theater kids. Just say it.
Theater kids.
Leave me alone.
Okay?
So what...
Resident theater kid in the house. There you go. I was not a theater kid. I was in theater, but I was stagehand.
I went to college for theater, and so what if I've watched Hazbin 4 times in a row? What does that have to do with anything?
Wasn't it in your top for Spotify?
It was in my rap for Spotify.
Listen, no, we're gonna have to show each other our Spotify raps at some point, because it was my Spotify rap. It was Hazbin Hotel, Chapel Roan.
Yeah, we have the same Spotify rap. No notes. It's fine.
Exactly. I really wish they had done that thing where it's like, remember last year they were like, here's somebody who had the same taste as you, and I really wish it would have been like, here's.
Would have just linked us, Doki and Mim.
Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna talk about first Hazbin Hotel.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before you jump into this, you told me something the other day that I wanted to bring up, and it's that she has students in middle school who are like, I watch this.
Oh, that's been a problem, because a lot of people were getting really upset, understandably so, because children should not be like doing...
I mean, it's the first screen of the show is like, this is not made for children.
Well, so the bigger concern is, I would argue even more than watching it, is there are like middle schoolers and teenagers cosplaying as characters like Angel Dust at conventions, which I would like to put on the record, Doki does not condone. No, maybe be something cute, Sailor Moon, adorable, age appropriate.
It's weird, and I will say there is a gray area there, because I have seen people that dress up their little kids as stuff that is like, they have no idea what they're dressing up as. Like, okay, fine, you dressed up as somebody from Don Don, your kids too. That's adorable. When the kid actually understands what they're dressing up as, and depending on the character they dress up as, it can get real rad real fast. Nobody should be dressing up their child as Angel Dust the porn star.
Absolutely not.
In any way. But if you want to dress your infant up as Alistair, like, whatever. You know, who cares? It's not hurting anybody. It's a baby. They're not going to know. But, yeah, no, I teach middle school, and I have a lot of kids that watch both these shows. And I wish I could say I'm shocked, but I'm really not. A lot of kids, and I'm not gonna get too into my my soapbox of parents need to monitor their kids' media, but I have so many kids that are so proud of the fact that they watch Deadpool and inappropriate shows, and they play games that are inappropriate. I'm like, that explains a lot.
No, it's an issue. No, I was just gonna say it's an issue, because I think a lot of parents don't, like you said, don't pay attention to what their children are consuming. My son will watch kids' YouTube, but I will not let him watch it in a room that I can't, like, hear and see, because even from that perspective, like, stuff makes it through there. There was, like, a Squid Games thing on there, and I was like, in what world is that, like, kids' YouTube safe? But so... A lot of kids are probably getting, like, intros to stuff like this that are slipping through the cracks, and then next thing you know, they're watching it, and their parents already aren't paying attention.
especially when they're teenagers. When they're teenagers. And there was an incident, I think was last year. They've started being a lot more strict about panels, but it became a really big issue of parents bringing their kids into these panels and thinking, oh my God, it's so cute and quirky and fun that my kid asked these questions. It was disgusting. They had one of these kids who was probably like 9 years old go up and ask the voice actor who does Angel Dust about if he was like improving his moans or something during...
No.
Like, I know, disgusting.
My 10-year-old...
There was an absolute shitstorm that came after those parents, and rightly so. And every time since then, I think that they've had, which it should have been age gated to begin with, but I think they've started putting more strict age gates on panels and stuff like that for that show. I think people get stuck. Because they're like, oh, it's a cute cartoon. It's on Amazon Prime. But like, y'all, we grew up with inappropriate cartoons.
It's different.
It's different.
Like Rocco's Modern Life, he was not a corn star.
Letting your kid
call it corn line.
He did, yeah.
Letting your kid watch Family Guy. Letting your child watch Family Guy is not the same. Letting your child watch Family Guy and Simpsons is not the same. Your kid can probably handle Family Guy at 13. They cannot watch the show at 13.
Yeah, no. I can't, and like bringing it back to a younger age, I can't imagine, like I'm picturing my 10-year-old, I wouldn't even let him watch Family Guy, let alone this.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
I had to consider if my fiance was old enough for it. And he's my age.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Sorry, here's you. I just wanted you to, as we go through this material, I wanted everyone listening to picture middle schoolers engaging with this media.
I try not to.
That makes me feel
I try
icky.
not to.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm watching the show and I'm like getting so upset because I'm like, wait, a middle schooler saw this and like laughed and engaged with this and like is talking to their friends about it and the whole time I'm watching Hellaverse because I did it recently. Like, you can ask them like every 10 minutes in the episode, I'm like, middle school? And she would nod at me and be like, middle school.
Media it's a terrible monster that's ruining the youth.
And I will say Helluva Boss is a lot worse than Hazbin Hotel. Hazbin Hotel, there are episodes that I'm like, that's perfectly fine for a kid to watch. I'm like, there are scenes, you could probably cut out a handful of scenes from some episodes, and I'd be like, that's fine, that's cute, right? But Helluva Boss, there's no way. There's no way.
You could censor Hazbin and have it still make it sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so
anyway.
Hazbin Hotel. No, you're good. Hazbin Hotel. I remember when this came out in 2019, and this was a big deal in 2019. The pilot came out. People were obsessed with this. It got so much money funded through Patreon. I remember when like rumors started coming out that it was going to get picked up on Amazon, and everyone was so excited. They did honestly such a good job. I think another reason that Vivian gets a lot of like shit is because the original voice actors that were in the pilot did not come back for the Amazon Prime.
People were mad.
People were mad, and I can understand why, but they also have to understand, A, it's not her doing. It's something that Amazon probably worked out with her, and it's probably a business decision on behalf of her business. But I get it, and it would have been a lot cooler to have, like, different, up-and-coming voice actors do this. But I think that she kind of did a good job of being like, you know what, no, we're going to have a lot of these people be on Helluva Boss instead, because Hazbin Hotel, she really wanted to make like a cartoon Broadway. She really wanted to make it like a show tune. So she had people that are famous for being on Broadway come on to Hazbin Hotel. Like, you have Stephanie Beatrice, you have Alex Brightman, Erica Henningsen, Blake Roman, like Jeremy Jordan. I fucking love Jeremy Jordan so much. You have no idea.
So, just for reference for the listeners who aren't familiar, it's like Stephanie Beatrice, she is a very popular actress.
Yeah.
She's been in things like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and a couple other things. Go through some of the other stuff that some of these voice actors have been in.
You're just going to skip Encanto?
You're
right. She's the main.
Dude, she sings in that one.
Yes. Alex Brightman, I also love Alex Brightman. Alex Brightman is everywhere in this show. He's everywhere in Hell of a Boss. There is a YouTuber, TikToker, Danny Mata, I believe his name is, who does a lot. He does like watch with me sort of content, and he and Alex Brightman have like this one-sided beef where he just like, oh, Alex Brightman. And it's really funny. I love Alex Brightman. He was Beetlejuice on Broadway. And that's really his biggest thing, is he was known for Beetlejuice on Broadway. He has amazing vocal talent. Absolutely stunning.
He does have a distinct sound, too.
Well, and he can do a lot of varied sounds, too. Like, he has a very, like, expansive range.
Yes. He is... Keith David. I don't know why I skipped Keith David. Beautiful godsend voice that is Keith David plays Husk. He is Facilier in literally, I think, the last good villain song from Princess and the Frog. He was Facilier. He was the villain in that movie. Fantastic, beautiful voice. He does sing. Obviously, you can't have these people on this show and not have them sing.
Right.
Kimiko Glenn was in Spider-Verse. I remember her. She was in Spider-Verse. I got to see her and meet her at Galaxy Con, which is really cool last year.
Brag.
Super sweet. I know. Listen, I will brag. Erica Henningsen was Katie on the Broadway version of Mean Girls. Blake Roman, I don't think Blake Roman was in much else. Now, you might have to correct me, but I'm pretty sure Blake Roman is kind of really new to this. He is so fucking sweet. He is such a cutie patootie.
Precious.
He's one of the ones I saw at GalaxyCon. He is like, he reminds me of who's that guy that played Spider-Man? The third one, the cute, adorable baby face.
Yeah, the one who
Zendaya's
boyfriend.
Yes.
Yeah. He is very reminiscent of that. It's a whole.
Yes.
He gives that vibe.
He is like baby face baby boy. I love him.
Also, for theater nerds, Kimiko Glenn is also, she was in Waitress on Broadway.
Thank you. I knew she was in other stuff.
Yeah. She's really good. She's really good in Waitress.
Amir Talai, I can't remember what else he's in, but he's Alistair. And then Jeremy Jordan is in like everything Broadway. He's on Newsies. He was
oh my god, this guy's in so much stuff.
He's in so much stuff. He is beautiful, gorgeous voice. He was what's the name of the book that everyone had to read in high school where it's like 1920s? Great Gatsby. Finished my own thing. He is Gatsby in Great Gatsby. So
So
I love
Amir,
him.
he does a lot of animated series.
Okay.
Wasn't he in We Baby Bears?
Oh,
Man,
okay, yeah.
I mean, never seen it or anything, but voice. I heard the voice was in that.
He had a side role in American Dad, Family Guy as well. As you said, he had the Wee Baby Bears.
It's like We Bear Bears, but they're tiny.
Oh, but they're tiny.
Little babies. It's cute.
He's been in some Real People shows, too.
Oh, The Lion Guard. That's a great Disney Junior show.
Oh, I know
what these middle schoolers should
yes.
be watching instead.
There are so many shows that kids should be watching instead.
Kung Fu
of this.
Panda.
They need another. You know what they need? They
Turbo.
need more. They need more teenager shows. I will say because I feel like Avatar, fantastic teenager show. Original Teen Titans, fantastic. Like Steven Universe, fantastic. I feel like they did Owl House for a while, and then that got canceled, and then they had to finish it up real quick, and I heard that was really good. But I feel like there's not a lot of shows for teens to watch that are, like, engage in these, like, adult and interpersonal themes where they feel like they don't have to be babied for watching a cartoon, but it's not adult and inappropriate.
Instead, it's a bunch of shows aimed at adults that are inappropriate that feature teenagers, so teenagers think they should watch those so they can see themselves.
Euphoria.
Euphoria was also what I was thinking of, yes. Yeah.
Okay, real quick. The fucking spoilers.
Censor this.
I misread these words.
I didn't know that am I not allowed to say fuck?
No, you can.
So
okay.
I would like it known. I read this because I have terrible ADHD. So I read this just as some asshole fucking.
I did too.
That's all I saw.
That's why I was like, I'm gonna need to censor this.
That's all I saw was just some asshole fucking spoilers. My brain skipped so many other words.
Canon.
Honestly, pretty canonical, but
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Okay.
Please continue.
I will. Sorry, hang on. My computer is being a little bit slow. Let me close out of a couple tabs just because, as soon as you pull up Google Chrome...
it'd be like that.
Yeah, I read leaked as leaky.
I'll read the slide for the listeners who aren't, like, watching along on YouTube. The slide it's precious. It's, like, bubbly. There's freaking butterflies everywhere. Bubbles, clouds. And then the text says, some assholes hacked Hazbin Hotel. The fucking spoilers. Like, all of episode 2 storyboards and other major spoilers were leaked. Dude got caught and is now facing big boy charges.
Excuse me, you spelled boy wrong? That should read B-O-I. You put B-O-Y.
I'm sorry.
That's how serious these charges are.
They're serious charges.
They are charges. I accidentally have seen some of those spoilers. I saw them on TikTok, and when I tell you I panicked, threw my phone, screamed. So I've mentioned this before, but my fiance he's obsessed with Hazbin and reading, like, conspiracy theories and, like, plots about Hazbin. But I, like, screamed across the house. It was like, don't go on Reddit! Get off Reddit now while you can! Because it was bad.
Oh my gosh.
That's my spoiler for what Katie's going to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I also got spoiled because I was on TikTok and I was like, wow, this is a really good animation. This is a really good fan animation.
Wow,
and then
fiction.
Literally, I shit you not, I'm like scrolling through 30 seconds later, it's like, hey, all of episode 2 was spoiled. And I'm like, no fucking way. Because I was here thinking like, wow, somebody made a fan like a fan edit of what their theories are, and obviously I'm not going to spoil it for anybody.
It was big stuff.
It was big spoilers. It was big
what
spoilers.
Everyone's waiting for. They skipped. I also like that they skipped episode 1. They were like, I'm going to spoil episode 2.
I'm going to spoil 2 episodes with one drop.
They essentially spoiled the whole season with one drop. In some ways.
Spoiled a lot. There is a lot. I will say that there is a lot that was not spoiled. They did drop a couple of storyboards and, I think 2 whole songs and also, like, the background of one of the characters.
Yeah.
But I do believe, last time I checked, they caught the person. It was not somebody, it was not an inside job, which was people really worried about. Yeah, he's currently, I think, facing criminal charges and also, like, a lawsuit of over, like, $200,000 or something.
And that's just from my fiance. That's not even including what they're doing.
It's a civil court case about it.
Yeah.
I can see it, yeah.
Real quick, am I jerking around for you guys or not?
You're not jerking at all.
Some asshole fucking jerking around.
Okay.
Some asshole fucking jerking her. Some asshole, okay.
Okay, just making sure, because you guys are lagging for me. But as long as I'm fine, that's...
It always
cool.
does that.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're good. Okay, so that's been taken care of. Now let's talk about Helluva Boss. Which, again, I had so much fun. Canva is my new favorite thing to make presentations on, and I literally just looked up, like, I just looked up, like, Y2K girly pop, Canva template, and... Yes.
And it's giving. It's got bunnies, hearts, stars, clouds, sparkles.
So, Helluva Boss. It's about fucking and classism. Okay. Helluva Boss came out with the pilot around the same time that that Hazbin Hotel dropped, and I'm hopefully not going to mix up those two because they're very similar sounding in my mouth. But made by Spindlehorse. So, Helluva Boss is still made by Spindlehorse. It's Vivian's own, like, company. Hazbin Hotel got picked up by Amazon Prime. So, like, 2 separate companies. There's a lot of, like, weird legal stuff going on. Like, I'm not sure if they'll be able to have some characters actually show up in Helluva Boss because of that, but I'm not too sure. The first season came out in 2020. They have been releasing episodes I would say infrequently. They've had a couple of hiatuses because, again, it's a small company. They're doing this, in-house. I will say, so main cast, Brandon Rogers, which I know Brandon Rogers back from, like, early Vine days, and his character on Vine literally is the same person as the character he plays, Blitzo. It literally is this. He's the same person. It's so funny. It's one of those situations where you're like, did she make this character based off Brandon Rogers? Because honestly, it's so funny. And he goes right into it. He's so funny. Obviously, like, very crude, chaotic gremlin humor. I love him. Richard Horvitz as Moxxie and Crimson, his dad. And you'll recognize his voice immediately because it's the same voice as, Invader Zim and Billy from Billy and Mandy. He's everywhere.
And he was one of the Angry Beavers.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you're right. His voice is really distinctive. Vivian Nixon, I'm not sure what else she's been in, but she's Millie. She's Moxxie's wife. Erica Lindbeck is Luna. Again, I'm not quite sure. A lot of these people aren't, like, they probably have been in a couple of other, like, cartoons and stuff, but they're not really huge names that we saw in Helluva, or in Hazbin Hotel. See, I knew I was going to mess up.
Also,
yes.
Richard was Alpha 5, the little robot guy from the original Power Ranger series.
Oh my god. Beautiful.
I love how proud of yourself you were.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
You're not
Bryce?
sorry.
No, I'm not.
Bryce Pinkham, I believe, was on Broadway. I believe he's on Broadway. I'm not sure for what, but I know he is in a couple of other things. And then, like I said before, Alex Brightman is everywhere. He is Fizzaroli, who's my favorite character. I will gush about him until the day I die. I love this weird, freaky little robot dude. He's my favorite. I love him so much.
I love Stolas.
Stolas is also an absolute baby, and I love him.
Sweet baby angel.
He's a sweet baby angel, but also an absolute bitch, and I love him for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into some lore here. Now, obviously, if you're watching on YouTube or if you are in the fandom, you have probably seen this graphic. If you are not, I'll describe it. But Hell is broken up into rings, kind of like if we're following Dante's Inferno sort of rings. Each ring has a leader, and they have a color associated with them. They have, like, the sin that's in charge of them. They have a different sort of, like, geography about them. And they also have different creatures that are associated with that ring.
This is all news to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Awkward.
Hazbin Hotel... Hazbin Hotel only takes place in the Pride Ring. Sinners cannot leave the Pride Ring. And that's because of, like, we don't know the lore behind it yet, but people theorize, like, it has something to do with Lucifer having a deal with the exorcist and stuff like that. But they only are in the Pride Ring. Lucifer is the sin of pride. So that was another big thing is, like, Lucifer and Satan are not the same. They're two different characters. Lucifer is the sin of pride. He's also considered, like, the ringleader. There's a lot of circus themes that go on in this show. He's dressed as a ringleader. He has a lot of, like, apple and snake iconology for obvious reasons. And pride itself has, like, a whole map that is associated with it we'll look at. Hellborn, anybody else in Hell can travel in and out freely. So, and I will say that Helluva Boss also takes place in Pride. They take place in a little city called Imp City, which is in the Pride Ring. So it's kind of like Little Italy for imps. Again, Jeremy Jordan has my heart and soul. I love him. So Lucifer is played by Jeremy Jordan. He's the big twink of Hell. All right. He is divorced dad energy. He's in charge of sinners, but he hates them. He's the ringleader of Hell. He's the most powerful in all of Hell because he's an angel. Obviously, he's a fallen angel. Again, this is a lot of biblical mythology and information as well she follows. He has daddy issues, and he is daddy issues.
Take that, depression.
Exactly. He's fantastic. I love his character so much. He's very interesting. I'm interested to see what happens more with him and if we develop more of his character, because he was really only in, like, a couple of episodes. He came in a little bit later. But I need to hear him sing again because I do.
Yeah.
Okay? So here we have, like, a map. Again, this is for people who aren't listening. Who are listening, who aren't seeing. We have a map of the pentagram city of Pride.
Shaped like a pentagram.
It's shaped like a pentagram.
Oh my gosh, you're, like, really smart.
Wow.
So cute.
So, again, we have the hotel, the embassy's in the middle, and then we have the different districts, which
So at the
are...
top is a pentagram.
Yes.
Like underneath the leggies.
Yes. And a lot of them fight over, like, we have the... Hang on. So, have you seen... Velociraptor, have you seen... Hazbin... Or Helluva Boss? No, Hazbin Hotel.
I was like...
Have you seen... Hazbin Hotel?
It's funny because I watched Helluva Boss with Mim for the listeners.
Yes.
Like, every single
seen it?
episode.
Yes,
I
you
have
marathon
seen
that
both
shit.
of them. Yes.
Okay, cool. So then I don't have to explain too much of it. I made a lot of slides about lore, but I don't really need to go into them. But this is, like, the map of it. There's different cities. We have the, like, Lucifer is hands-off. He doesn't give a shit. And then we have
So I guess
Overlords.
I didn't realize that everything was pentagram shaped and laid out this way. Was that in the show? Am I just stupid?
I think this is a screenshot from in the show. I know this is canonically what it looks like.
Was it labeled in the show?
No, I labeled it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
I labeled
very
it.
helpful. They should take notes from you.
It was also only briefly, like, it was
It
like
was.
a quick...
Okay.
While we are talking quickly about Lucifer, I was specifically asked to bring up on his behalf that Lucifer is a Keyblade holder. I'll be taking no notes. That's it. That's all I was asked to say. That's another fact that wasn't on the page about him.
Okay.
Yes. He's a Keyblade master. He does have the key to the hotel, and it turns into, like, a Keyblade looking thing, and it's really funny.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
All right.
Yeah. All right. That was my second contribution.
I'll go through, because I made slides on the sins, because they're kind of what really guides a lot of the mythology behind everything. And so we have Wrath. Wrath was just introduced. He's different from Satan. He is Satan. He's different from Lucifer. He is currently the one in charge of hell because Lucifer literally just dipped and has been kind of dealing with a lot of stuff ever since. Okay? Satan took over hell after Lucifer left to join Amazon Prime. He's
right.
He's the lawmaker. He's the judge. He is baritone daddy Patrick Page. Well, if you don't know, Patrick Page played. I told you this already. Patrick Page played Hades in Hades Town. His voice is like you can feel it. You can feel the baritone. It's like bass. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I got so excited when they announced that he was going to voice Wrath or Satan just because I knew he was going to sing because you cannot have him on the show and not have him sing.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. He's the one who created imps. Imps are like the main species that we'll be looking at, especially because they're the main characters of Helluva Boss. He created them. They're from Wrath, but they're obviously born in different places. He has anger issues, but he's working on it. We love a self-help king. Okay, he has a little, like, therapist that hangs out with him, whose name is Yogurt.
If anyone has seen Star versus the Forces of Evil, he's a lot like Star's ex-boyfriend, Tom. It's, like, the same, like, character type. Yes.
That's another show I really wish had ended differently. That was such a good show.
We'll talk offline. I have differing opinions.
Oh, no.
Typical.
Okay. Unproblematic king that is Asmodeus. He's called the Weakson. He's probably because he's, like, so chill. He's in love with Fizzaroli, despite being openly against love, hypocritical. But
He's got an image to hold. What do you mean?
He is such an unproblematic character. I love him so much. He's great.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a sweetie. He's great. All right? It's, like, one of the few times we see a character relationship that isn't super toxic.
It really is so
Actually,
good.
no, I lie. Moxxie and Millie are beautiful and perfect in every way.
They're
Precious.
I know. So these are two new characters we just got introduced to in, like, the last couple episodes, which would be Envy and Sloth. Neither one has a voice yet, but we do at least now have designs, and we kind of know a little bit about where they're from. We know that Envy characters are more... Actually, let me go back real quick. Asmodeus, like, the characters that come from the Lust Ring are Incubus and Succubus. They have wings. They look just like imps, but they have wings, and they're, like, usually a bit taller and a bit more shapely. So the characters that are from Envy are more fish-like. So we can kind of assume that, like, the realm is a lot more oceany or whatever. And then Sloth, they all have, like, a candle, and a lot of them are a health focus, which is an interesting take, I think.
I'm so obsessed with the art for the Sloth.
Isn't she gorgeous?
So cute. I
know.
Want to be her.
She's like a little sheep. She's like a sexy sheep with a candle on her head, and I love her for that.
Cosplay. I'm gonna cosplay this cute sheep. She's so cute.
Also, like, hospitals and stuff are all in Sloth, which is absolutely
That's hilarious.
Terrible. I feel like that's a true representation of hell, though. It's like, wow, what can you imagine to be worse? It's like, the hospital, but everybody is slow hospital. It's like the DMV scene from the
Zootopia?
What is that? Zootopia, yeah. It's like
Zootopia
that, but it's the hospitals and vets and everything.
Yeah, for anyone who's not in the United States, our healthcare system is
a zootopia.
It's bad. It's not great. It is very funny to us that it is run by sloths, essentially.
It is. I'm excited to see who voices. I don't think they've announced who's voicing these characters because the season just ended. They're not coming out with another season, probably not until, like, the end of 2026. It's going to be a while, but they are releasing shorts. They do release, like, Spindlehorse does release a lot of shorts. They're, like, I would say maybe 5 to 10 minutes long. They're really funny. They're really cute. There's not a whole lot of plot that comes from them, but it is just a nice little kind of, hey, we're going to give you a little treat while you wait. You know, it's the lollipop in the waiting room. It's good. It's the bread before your meal. Let's talk about classism and romance.
Mim always makes it very clear she's Italian during the show. I don't know how she manages to do it every time, but it's the bread before your meal.
I gotta find a way to work in some Polish. I'm just gonna eat pierogies during it.
Do it. So, classism and romance is, like, the main theme, and I know I'm focusing a lot on Helluva Boss here because I think there's a lot more to kind of delve into, and I feel like a lot of people have dissected Hazbin Hotel to death. People have also done it for Helluva Boss, don't get me wrong, but
I think there's plenty to talk about.
But I'll get into both. I will get into both, okay? But so, class system, we kind of went already over. Like, the top, very tippy top, we have Lucifer is the most powerful, and this is just hell. We're not going to get into heaven and all that stuff yet. Charlie and Lilith.
Podcast.
Another podcast. Charlie and Lilith are the second tier, and then we have the 7 deadly sins are also pretty much godlike characters. They're immortal. The Ars Goetia are they are mythological, like, actual mythological characters from, it is a book. There is a biblical-based book that talks about the different demons of hell. The Ars Goetia are considered, like, the princes of hell. So Stolas and Paimon, his dad, are actual people. They're actual demons in this demonology book. Which is fascinating. It's really cool. They do have, like, an owl-like form. They do like, fortune-telling. So she does take a lot of inspiration from that, which is really cool. Surprisingly, it also talks about how, like, the leader of the Ars Goetia is actually Asmodeus, which might explain why he also has, like, a lot of bird-like characteristics. That's not something that's considered canon yet, but I think it's really interesting to kind of look at. You have the overlords who have power because of the sins that they have under contract and the amount of land that they hold. So,
hold on. In biblical mythology, the Ars Goetia are angels who rebelled with Lucifer in the original fall.
Okay.
Oh.
So, which is fascinating. I like that. I don't think she's going to make them angels only because we've seen them. It's a weird thing to say. We've seen them bleed, and their blood is black, and we know that Hellborn characters have black blood versus angel characters have gold.
It is interesting, all the feather connection, though. Because the angels are all feathery and whatnot, and, like, Stolas is an owl. So there is a lot of
Ars Goetia, yeah.
A lot of bird-like overlap.
Yeah. Overlords are,
there's also...
go ahead.
So, sorry, I'm adding more, because this is really interesting because of there's like a ton of lore in here, and like I said, I came in totally blind, so I'm like actively Googling things as we're talking, but it says Goetia is also a type of European sorcery, referred to as witchcraft, been transmitted through grimoires, which are also used in this for magical purposes. Sorry.
So
I'm done.
That's fantastic. I love that. And I think it's really cool that she takes a lot of this like mythology and makes her own. I say her. It's a company. Obviously it's not just her, but there's a lot of people behind it, but for the sake of simplicity I'll say her. But I like
Think of all the effort these nerds put into this.
Thank you, nerds.
Thank you, nerds. Thank you.
Nerds.
There has to be somebody who spent like all of high school and middle school like being obsessed with demons and stuff, and they're finally like, yes, all of my research. Finally, there's somebody on the show whose only job. Exactly. There's somebody on the show whose only job was like research demons, and they did so well. Oh my gosh. Like, we didn't even go over overlords, but, like, the overlords have a whole bunch of souls, I think, under their command. We're probably going to learn about that more next time. I think more in, like, the specifics of what that means, how you become an overlord, because we know Husk used to be an overlord and then lost all of it in a bet or lost all of it in either a bet or a trade or something. I think it was a bet. I think is what they said.
It was a bet. He gambled it.
It was a bet. He gambled it with our big baddie boy, Alistair.
Baby boy.
Big baby boy Alistair.
Boy with an I, though, not boy with a Y.
No, definitely with an I.
Definitely with an I. Definitely with an I.
My fiance's favorite Disney princess, Alistair.
Yeah. I will say, so I think it's Joel Perez plays, shoot, why is his name escaping me right now? The other overlord that is in charge of Angel Dust.
Oh, the icky one.
Valentino.
With the ooze.
Yeah. Valentino's character is so deliciously evil. He's so gross.
Yes.
He's awful. I hate him. But Joel Perez is the sweetest human being. I love him so much. And
his character is so triggering, though.
It really is.
It's a big trigger.
It really is. His character very much is like the worst of what you would expect a stereotypical, like, evil pimp sort of person to be.
Just a toxic, like, relationship in general, I think.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really, it's fascinating, I think, to look at the characters. But if you ever have a chance, I would follow Joel Perez on, like, TikTok, RIP, before it RIPs, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, because he's such a sweet person, and he gets a lot of flack because a lot of people always seem to, like, connect characters. I know. They connect characters with, like, their voice actors, you know, because, like, Brandon Rogers is very much like his character. Obviously not in real life, that's his character, but he acts like that a lot. But Joel Perez is just a sweetheart. He's a cutie patootie. And he's funny as hell, too.
For a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sinners, are obviously people, they died, they sinned, they come to hell. So far, we know that they can be redeemed, because we've seen one of them get redeemed, so we know it's possible. Love that for them. Okay. I would love to point out, and I'm not sure if Valerie ever caught this, but in Helluva Boss, the very first episode, you know, the teacher is a sinner. She comes down. She wants revenge on the bitch that fucked her husband or whatever, and the husband.
The one with the two kids.
I thought you said the fish. The fish that fucked her husband.
Yeah.
But
profanity.
Yes. And then later, I think it's like, during Apology Tour.
Yeah, during Apology Tour, she came out of the bathroom. I was like, oh, I did notice that, yeah.
Yeah, and they're together, and I'm like, I love the little things like that you get in these shows. It's fantastic. I love it so much.
Well, that was like the other little thing, so that I didn't notice that you pointed out when we were watching, maybe it was the last episode where they're doing the judgment on Owl Guy, and you're like, oh, you see how Lucifer is not there, but the little duck is there? And I was like,
Yeah.
Thanks, Amazon.
I love that they just left. Like, if you think about it from that perspective, they've just left his duck there for an unknown amount of time.
It has to have been, the timeline's weird, but it has to have been, like, I think they said at least 7 years, because that's kind of when he got all satty
Oh, they miss him.
They had a divorce. He got Sadie, but that's, I think, after he, like, I'm not sure if that's how long he's been out of the other rings. That might just be how long, like, he's been avoiding Charlie and his other duties. Mm-hmm. But the timeline is still a little bit unclear. Hellborn would be Incubus, Succubus, and a bunch of other kind of miscellaneous characters. And then Imps and Hellhounds are, like, bottom of the barrel characters. They're considered like peasants. They don't have any worth. We've seen Satan talk about how they have no worth. We see a lot in the show, not Blitz and other imps, because they come in, like, I guess, varying sizes, because there are imps in Stolas' house that are, like, butlers and servants, and you see his ex-wife Stella, like, you know, throwing them around like trash, or, like, picking them up like toys, or using them as, like, footstools. So they're considered really, like, to be, you know, like, peasants, like, very bottom. Nobody cares about them, which is why a lot of the show focuses on the romance between a prince and a imp. Mm-hmm. Right? And we have the positive version of that, which is, like, you know, Fizzaroli and Asmodeus, where it's like, this is a healthy relationship. They really work with each other, but there are complications that they haven't faced yet. And then we have the toxic side of that, where neither one of them has really talked or discussed the obvious divide there is in their classes. Okay. Another one we see is Gluttony. And
Kesha.
Yeah.
It's Kesha. I was so excited. It's Kesha. Again, if you're going to have her on here, you have to have her sing. But, of course, they couldn't have her sing because legal issues. But she's Beelzebub. Thing is how you pronounce it. Beelzebub. And she is voiced by Queen Kesha. The song is not done by her. Mm-hmm. It was made by her. I think it was written by her, but she did not sing it, I think, because she was still doing, like, legal battles and stuff with her own.
Poor Kesha.
I
know.
It's like a Free Britney situation.
It really is. She is dating a hellhound, which we'll get into because, again, what is Helluva Boss about? Classism and fucking. So, she's dating a hellhound. This is a really big taboo because she is considered, like, almost above royalty. She's essentially almost like a godlike figure. Mm-hmm. They have huge amounts of power. They control an entire realm. They're immortal, right? But she's dating a hellhound, which is, like, on the very bottom tier of characters in their, like, social class system. She runs a club.
And the last one, he was a dragon. And this one, I asked because I wasn't sure. She's, like, part dog, part bee?
I think that she is
just because she has a song about honey. Is that why you said part B?
She's got, like, wings and stuff.
Ships. She has, like, when she gets super angry, she gets, like, more bee-like features.
Yeah,
I
thought it was a valid question. What the heck?
Like, no, it's a totally valid question.
Like a lynx cat or something.
Yeah, that
like
too.
Okay, yeah. So sorry, lynx. So the issue wasn't with bee; it was with that they said dog-like.
I've never seen a bee with tall ears and a furry little mouth.
The ears aren't from the bee.
What part is bee? Just that she's black and yellow?
Oh my gosh.
So are the Steelers. I don't see them come on.
She has wings.
She has wings.
So do fairies. They're not bumblebees, probably.
And she has... Yeah, I mean, okay.
Where's her stinger?
I will say, I love the fact... Okay. And you can tell. If you've ever been on the internet for any amount of time, you can tell that Viv got her start being a furry artist. This is grade A furry shit right here. I love it. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'm not a furry, but I appreciate the craft.
It's fair.
It's an art.
I appreciate the craft. It is an art.
Most definitely.
Now, this is Greed. This is Mammon. And he's another kind of major player that we see a lot. He runs
his species is just clown asshole, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Icky clown asshole.
Australian.
Okay,
he's Australian. He is a clown cunt. He is Australian. We must respect his culture. Okay?
He gives me the icky.
He is super icky. He's a super icky character, and he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like a Hollywood sleazebag who kind of, you know, takes advantage of everybody.
Back. So, back into Beelzebub. They usually call her Queen Bee.
Okay.
Her name is Queen Bee. They call her Queen Bee.
Is Beyonce a bee?
Probably.
I called it.
Don't tell Doki, but she does have a whole line of alcohol that is called Bee's Honey.
Well, that's why I said, is that why you made the connection? Because of the honey. But I won't tell Doki, don't worry about it.
I will also say that he does like shift into like an angry character that is more bug-like. I think it's like a spider sort of centipede looking weird thing. I think he looks like a tick, which would make sense. I think he looks like a tick, which would make sense with like the whole blood-sucking analogy, like bloodsucker.
Yeah.
He's hilarious, though. I will say I do like his character as, like, a bad guy character, where he's not the main bad guy, but he is a bad guy, and he does come in a lot, and it's very interesting. Vizzaroli and Blitzo are from Greed. They were born there. They had their whole imp circus growing up together before it burned down, because Blitzo, it's the whole thing. It's traumatic. I love it. It's so much drama. I love it. Okay? And, okay. We'll keep going. Now we have the best one. Okay.
Yay.
So speaking of which,
I think that piece is interesting because, like, I get when Algai and the Helluva boss guy, like, how they're always like going back and forth, like, you look down on me, like, no, you look down on yourself, like you're projecting this onto me. But like, I hadn't connected just how far they were apart in the hierarchy. Yeah, it's because like, why does it keep coming up? Why does it matter? But it's like, no, it's like a really big difference.
Blitzo's considered a second-class citizen, not a real person,
right?
Not
compared
even
to royalty.
Yeah, not even.
That's a
and
ton
you can
of
imagine,
context.
yeah. And you can imagine, like, Blitz obviously goes to that house all the time, and he's interacted with Stella a couple times, but he sees, like, there are imps in the household that are treated like objects. Like, he sees how they're treated in Stolas' life, and he knows how he's treated. But we have my favorite version of this, which is, you know, Vizzaroli and Asmodeus, who are hiding their relationship. Not only is... they're so precious. Not only is... Asmodeus, like the sin of lust. He runs a like a restaurant / kind of like burlesque-y-ish bar, not bar, like a restaurant sort of situation. And he talks, like, you know, he does a whole bit where he talks about how much love is like too sappy and gross or whatever, blah. But at the same time, like, they're very much in love, and it's not something that they're denying. They know they're in love with each other. They also know they have to hide it.
Well, I mean, even when they were scolding What's-His-Face during his musical number, when he was serenading his wife, they, like, were actively scolding him, but then they'd, like, kind of cut their eyes at each other, and I was like, what's going on between those two? Because I didn't know at the time, but, like, it's clear.
Oh, yeah.
Even then.
Oh, yeah. I remember when, like, the episodes came out, and everyone saw them together, and there was a lot of discussion online being like, they have to be together. They have to. Like, that's really cute. They have to be, right? And then, of course, the episode came out, like, not too much longer later, where it was like, oh, yeah, no, they're very much, like, essentially
Big
married
L
to each
love.
other.
Lesbian.
Big L love.
They are in lesbians with each other.
They are.
Wow, I didn't know it was that
They're
serious.
in Lebanese with each other. I know. Ugh. They're so healthy. I love them so much. Okay?
They really are.
It's also super tragic if you ever think about it for more than 2 seconds, because you have an immortal character and a character that's obviously not immortal, because we know that imps age, we know that they have kids, and we know that they die. So it's kind of like this super tragic thing if you think about it, and it's so tragic. Okay, it's really tragic.
Mim's trying to make me cry.
Listen,
it's just like Bella and Edward.
No,
I'm just kidding.
get out of here. Moving on.
I'm gonna out myself here for reading fan fiction. I read a fan fiction yesterday thinking, I'm gonna read something really cute. I'm gonna read something really adorable. I did not read the tags. Okay, so I didn't see it was major character death, and then it keeps going, and I'm like, he's getting older. Why is he getting older? Why is he not getting older with what is happening? They're gonna find a solution for this, right? No. It was tragic. Poor Mick was asleep next to me, and I'm, like, sobbing into my pillow. Holding my phone and, like, like, sobbing.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll read it again in the future when I feel like I want a good cry. But it is really tragic, and I love that. Because I
thought Mim was like, I had to suffer, so you guys have to suffer too. Right. I want you to think about this sad thing too.
I want you to think about this, okay? I know.
Hurt, cry.
Okay. On the opposite end of the spectrum, of the love spectrum, we have this not healthy at all, super sketchy start, no communication relationship. Obviously, it's very much like you have a flame and a firecracker where it's like, yeah, they go together, but it's obviously not based on a healthy relationship. That starts off with this transactional sort of thing.
For listeners, it's Blitzo and
Stolas.
Yeah.
And I know they're super toxic, but I love them so much still. And I feel bad about it, but I love them.
Stolas is such a sweet,
Don't
autistic
feel bad.
little
They're
baby.
Endgame. We all know they're endgame. And I think that's actually something I wanted to talk about is how I like how there is character growth.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like how we know this is a toxic relationship from day one. We know how they're both at fault here. Like, they're both not in a good place. They're both not really good.
They have not gone to therapy. They haven't worked through their traumas.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. They haven't loved themselves yet, you know?
They haven't loved themselves, but I also love seeing that there is growth in their relationship, and I like that we get to see that it's messy. Obviously, they do really well together, and it's they weren't good together, they weren't healthy, but like they're working through it, and there's probably going to be a lot of hiccups and different things that come with that. But I like that. I think that like it's a very honest approach to like difficult relationships, especially when you have this huge class divide between them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely an example of how these class differences and power imbalance can like impact a relationship and change a relationship. Especially because you have this character who has so much trauma and difficulty forming relationships, and he can't take anything seriously. And, Blitz is a very interesting and complicated character with his past. And it's very interesting to see how he handles being in a serious relationship. Because we have the last, he doesn't. But the last episode, we see, like, okay, he's actually being, like, a sweet, caring person. And it's interesting to see this flip-flop where it's like, oh, he's actually letting his guard down, and he can be a really sweet, caring person. Because he took care of Luna. He shows nonstop love and affection to Luna. He immediately, had this huge issue and breakup, but immediately, dropped everything to get her because she was feeling unsafe at a party. I will say, he does get, good dad.
He was so precious when they got that last assignment, and he couldn't kill the couple with their 2 kids, and then he flashed and saw him and Stolas and their daughters together in front of the fireplace, and I was just like, oh no.
I know, it's absolutely heartbreaking. And you have Stolas, who wants to be a good dad, but has fucked up so badly.
Yeah.
He is not. Obviously, we obviously don't see his relationship with Octavia that much. We know, obviously, he's way more focused in his hatred of Stella than he is building that relationship with Octavia. But he does try, and he does obviously love her so much. Because I think it was the last episode. That song, by the way, that Octavia sang, one of my top favorites. So good. It was so good. But it's you see all the things that he had were all of the things that she had given him as a child. He kept every drawing. He gave her a guitar. He does a lot. It's just one of those things that's yeah, you did, cheat on her mother with an imp and then kind of fuck over your whole family.
It's hard because there's no way that Octavia doesn't see how her mom treats.
Well, it's brought up the fact that because I almost think that a lot of Octavia's problem with her dad was all of the constant screaming and fighting and them trying to screw each other over, and I that's brought up in the theme park episode. Yeah,
I see because I feel like it was I feel like Stolas really tolerated a lot, and his wife really continued to go at it and was the major source. I mean, they bickered obviously, and it was 2-sided, especially near the end, but I feel like he put up with a lot before he finally broke, and it's surprising that his daughter doesn't see that more. But I know she's also a kid. She's a teen. It's hard.
She's a kid. And then also I don't know, some people, not naming any names, it's me, she may be one of those people who feels like no matter how bad things are, there's no excuse for, like, infidelity or, you know what I mean? Because that doesn't necessarily make what he did right just because bad things were happening to him. So she may have a hard time, like, validating her dad's behavior in that way.
I don't think it's even... I don't know that it's the infidelity that bothers him. I think what bothers her is that he prioritizes everything over her seemingly.
Right, he's never there.
Like, who cares if he cheated, but the fact that he's going to risk his own life for him instead of her, and now her life is affected. Like, that, I think, bothers her more than the infidelity piece, I think. But
most definitely.
Well, yeah, I mean, can you imagine, like, that episode where all of a sudden she turns on the TV and sees that her dad is about to die? Like, she doesn't get the conclusion that we do where he's saved. As far as, like, she knows her dad was put to death to save an imp that he had, like, cheated on.
Essentially.
Yeah. And she knows about this, like, and... I mean, she knows about their relationship, obviously. She's known about it for a long time, ever since, like, the Lululand episode. It's clear that she knows. And Stolas does have this conversation with Stella, being like, I would feel bad if you actually were upset about this, but you're not. You know that you don't like me. I know that you wouldn't care. It's the fact that I'm happy. You know, that's what's making you upset, is the fact that I'm, embarrassing you. And she's like, yeah, no, I just like tormenting you, which I will say, I'm going to get on my soapbox real quick.
Please do.
There has been nothing redeeming about Stella so far. And there are some people on the internet, not me, some people who love her character. And I get it. You love a villainess. You love not that kind of villainess.
I love a villainess, but not that kind of villainess.
Not that kind.
She's just like a bitch for no reason.
Yeah, there's a villainess and then there's a bitch.
She's, like, awful. And there are so many people that are, like, Stella apologists being like, well, you don't know what her... Like, I don't know what her life was like, and I don't care. We know because we literally see... I think it's, like, a picture of her, like, strangling somebody and, like, as a child.
The first picture we see of her as a youth is her strangling something and
because that's what they show it to Stolas. They're like, this is your future bride. Yeah. And he started crying.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't blame him. I would too. But, like, people are like, oh, well, she's probably blah, blah, blah. I don't care. She's not a sympathetic character. I hate her. She immediately takes advantage of the situation with Octavia, immediately is, like, the worst person. It's actually to the point where it's almost comical, and I kind of don't like how evil she is, where it's, like, very clearly she's evil. Let's make her as evil as possible. Let's, like, continuously make her awful and obnoxious.
It's almost less good because there's no redeeming qualities.
Yeah, like,
you don't want cartoony. To like her.
Exactly. Like, I feel like it's kind of the writer shoving in our face, you need to hate her, you need to hate her, you need to hate her. And I'm like, I get it. But, like, subtlety... Maybe a little bit more subtlety. And that is done, I think, in the way she treats imps and stuff like that. But it is a lot to constantly see her be the absolute worst fucking person on the planet. And it's like, I get it.
But even to your point, like, when she's comforting her daughter... It's clear that she's doing it to hurt Stolas, not to comfort her daughter.
It's so manipulative.
And that's what I mean. Like, you can't even sympathize with her knowing what she did led to her daughter being hurt, and, like, the relationship between the two of them hurt her. Like, she does not care. She only cares about, like, her status, causing pain, and like, it's zero redemption qualities whatsoever.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's zero redemption. And it's like almost cartoony. I think that was my only real issue with her is like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And even again, it's like she doesn't you don't see her interact with Octavia in any way except for really that last episode where she's, being a manipulative bitch again. And it's like, really? But yeah, no, I'm not here for Stella. I fucking hate her, as people should.
Yeah.
We already talked about, like, how mental health played a really big role. I think there's a lot of interesting dynamics in this show that kind of go with mental health. Did you know therapy is a good thing? None of them are in therapy. They need fucking therapy. Every single one of them needs therapy.
Well, Satan has, like, a therapist.
Satan has a little therapist, but Satan's also rich king overlord.
Sure.
not overlord. He's a rich king, Sin.
Guy,
so,
Charlie's an untrained therapist. She's a wannabe therapist.
It's true.
She really is. Bless her heart.
She tries.
She tries. She tries. But yeah, I like the mental health themes. I like the character growth that we have of, obviously, in Hazbin Hotel, we have very much the growth of Angel Dust, even though he's not the one that's redeemed in the end. We have, major character growth with him. We have major character growth with Charlie. We have a lot of character growth with even Vaggie, I think. There's a lot of character growth with her. Yeah. None with Alistair, which is, I'm interested to see how they handle him in the next season. I'm very interested to see, because oh no, you looked at each other.
No, it's like I said before, my fiance has an obsession with Hazbin. I've heard every theory that anyone has ever come up with, as well as every nod to any biblical reference that has ever been listed. But we constantly bicker because he's very much like Alistair's baby boy. And I'm like, Alistair I think, going to turn out to be an irredeemable asshole, and you're going to be really disappointed. And he's like, no, he kicks his feet in an episode. It's precious. And I'm like, he's an asshole. So it's a contentious topic in my home.
It's interesting. I think that's what makes his character so interesting is, he has a lot of these qualities that make him a likable character, that make him fascinating to watch, even though he's not a good person. And you want him to be redeemable. You want him to, turn a leaf. But at the same time, I cannot imagine a universe in where he's, a good person.
Wait, it turns out he secretly cared about Charlie the whole time. And I'm like, he's so fake. He's schmoozing her. And my fiance's like, no, I think deep down, I'm like, no, he doesn't.
No, he literally... I had this conversation with your husband too, where I turned into that... where I literally turned into that person where I was like, she came down in a bubble dog.
She came down in a bubble dog. Her sister was a witch.
Ate people. He's a murderer. He ate people.
My fiance will literally, you'll tell him, you'll be like, he ate people, and he'll be like, well, someone's gotta eat, so what? That's his diet. How do you know how those people lived? How do you know? Plus, he did this one nice kind of okay thing with Nifty, and that was cute, so he's okay now. It's fine. And I'm like, okay, just because Nifty's precious, that does not redeem Alistair.
No. Yeah, I'm actually really fascinated to see what they do with him and what his endgame is, because I don't think that he's going to be the main villain. I think they already said Vox is going to be the main antagonist in this next season. But I don't think he's going to be the main villain. I think that he is probably going to have a redemption arc, but not like a Zuko redemption arc where he suddenly starts hanging out with them. Maybe more of a redemption arc where he's still kind of a terrible bad person, but he saves Charlie or something, and it's not not entirely altruistic, but it's not for nefarious reasons. And I think there's an interesting conflict there. I'm really excited to see what she does with that.
I know it would never be the case, but I'm so crushed by the fact to know that my dream of what would happen with Alistair, there's no way, spoilers, non-spoilers, doesn't matter, that it would happen, because when I first watched it, I just looked at my fiance and went, what if Nifty's in charge of Alistair?
Oh my god!
And Zach was like, they wouldn't. And I was like, that would be the best twist ever.
That would be such a good twist. That would be such a good twist. I love it. It'd be better than it will be better than the Vaggie twist, where it's everyone kind of knew she was a fallen angel, and they even kind of laughed at it a little bit when she was talking with Carmilla Carmine, and Carmilla's like, you have an angelic spear? What?
Yeah, that was so, it would have, I think it would have really caught people off guard. It would have been so great.
I think that they kind of learned their lesson with how obvious that one is, and they're trying to keep things a little bit more closer to the chest with some of the other secrets they have to reveal, and I'm really excited about that. Okay. I already went over this whole spiel about character growth and everything. Let's give my slide. You don't need to say my slide. Okay.
Did my fiance make this?
Right.
He's going to want a copy of this presentation afterwards.
He'll give you his notes.
Good. He'll add in little notes on the side.
It's just pictures of Alistair.
Exactly.
Be nice to him. He's gay.
He's not gay. He's ace.
No. It's on the board, Mim.
Oh, on the board.
Yes, Alistair's ace, which is great.
Alistair's very asexual, and they
There's
mentioned it
I'm
many
looking at
times.
the little Happy Sinmas board, and then there's like a little drawing.
Blue cheese, gay, top. Lesbian, bottom, breakfast. King slut.
I was telling this.
King slut.
Yeah. I was telling this to Val, but like literally, and there are a lot of Easter eggs and stuff that you will see in Hazbin Hotel, but I think because Helluva Boss is like a bit of a smaller studio and everything, I think that they take a lot of time to put in so many Easter eggs.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, if you have like the background of a scene, you have to like stop and look at all the small details and stuff, because you'll find so many cute little Easter eggs. Like, just this stuff on the board is so fucking adorable. Again, like, be nice to him, he's gay, and it's obviously Stolas, because it's after Stolas lives with them. Yeah. And then later it's referenced because Moxxie brings them a whole bunch of like cookies, and he has one giraffe cookie for Stolas. Like, it's like these little things that you see that are absolutely adorable. Again, like the board of Blitz trying to explain whatever horse thing he's into, because he's into horse.
Oh yeah,
he's into horse stuff. He's a horse girl, and it started off, I believe, you might have to double check me on this. I'm pretty sure when I researched it, it was like it started off as a joke of like somebody saying, "What if Blitz was a horse girl?" And then they just dove in head first to that. They just ran with that as much as possible.
He's just like me for real. Bang bang.
He's just like me for bang bang. Oh, for real.
I love it. But it's just, all are trans, and then it's like blue cheese is a gay top. Like, it's great. It's just all the little details that you get. I think I made a whole... King slut. Okay. I'm going to go over a whole bunch of details that are things that I didn't notice right away, or somebody else pointed out to me, or that I noticed, but like, after watching it, how many times have I seen this damn show? Like 4 times now, probably. Anyways, so during Fizzaroli's like song where he is like saying "fuck you, I'm quitting" or whatever, in the very background, Mammon has his like demonic sigil or whatever, and then when he starts singing, it actually turns into his Modius' symbol, which is really cute. So they have that. Octavia's guitar that she sings. That she has is from Stolas. There's like a little Love Stolas thing on the back. Oh, yeah, Stolas writes fan fiction of him and Blitz and reads it.
That was the sad one that she read.
Yeah. I would die. It's so good. Again, Blitzo's weird horse thing. There's horses fucking everywhere in his house.
Yeah.
And
there's
I don't
horses
know
everywhere. There's horses like fucking everywhere, like actual, and then there's horses fucking everywhere, like 2 different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't know if you noticed, but like all the pictures of him, he's scratched out in his pictures. So like at home, there's a whole bunch of pictures of him all over, or him and Luna, or him and the gang, or whatever, on the walls, and all his face is like he's colored over his face on all of them.
Wait, do we know that he did it?
We can assume he did it because they're in his and Luna's house, and Luna wouldn't do that. And it very much goes with the, like, self-deprecating, self-hatred sort of feeling that he has.
I don't know if it was real or what it was from, but I'm pretty sure I actually saw, because most of my Helluva Boss is just clips I've seen on TikTok.
Okay.
Not many full episodes, but I'm pretty sure I saw one where they were all, like, talking in an office or something, and he had a black Sharpie scribbling his own face out of photos.
Oh,
like,
okay.
That wouldn't surprise me if that was another thing that's in the background.
I just wasn't sure for something I missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really fully enjoy how this show does a lot of showing rather than telling you, where there's a lot of like stuff that you can learn about characters just by observing and taking in the lore and making your own kind of conclusions versus all the exposition. I think that makes it a very interesting show, and there's lots of like fun little hidden gems in the shorts. Like I think we paused in one of the shorts with the weeaboo girl.
Yeah.
Right? And we just looked at all of the different stuff she had in the background, and is funny as hell.
There's a lot of Cthulhu art.
Leave me alone.
A lot of monster fucking.
Just think Cthulhu's like really cool or whatever.
I'm sorry. Are we sure that it's Sloth that she wants to cosplay as? Because I'm pretty sure she'd be so good cosplaying as this other character.
Oh, from the short?
It has been brought up to me that maybe this is a cosplay for me, not just by you two.
100%. Oh, so in Val, I don't know, Val probably noticed or not when we were watching, imps have, like, sex-specific traits. Female imps have black horns and black hair, and male imps have white hair and striped horns. So there's a lot of characters that are, like, not, obviously there's no exposition on them being trans, but you can tell that they're trans, like Millie's sister. Millie's sister is trans because you can see, like, the dye fading. Like, she has her roots showing where it's white, and her horns are striped, like a male imp. So, like, you can see a lot of the different characteristics that are, like, shown just from understanding the lore, and it's really cool.
That's
or, like,
really
how...
cool. I had no idea.
Right? It's not such a nice, like, low-key way to include, like, trans representation.
Yeah.
Without it being, like, you know, without having to make a whole episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, like great for
they just exist because
like,
they're
just let them exist.
They're just in the world, and they just exist.
They just exist in the world, exactly.
Yeah.
And then no one has to speculate either.
No.
It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, agreed.
I know. It's really cool. And, like, the different character designs and everything, I'm interested to see what happens more with the character designs from Envy because of the creepy episode or whatever where they're in the hotel with ghost fuckers. And it's like, oh, they immediately knew, like, that this person or demon or whatever is, like, a mind infiltrator. I'm like, is that a characteristic of Hellborn demons from Envy? Like, I'm curious. I want to know more lore.
Yeah.
I love that we have something so deep like this, and then it just says Blitzo can't fucking spell.
It can't.
Blitzo
It's hilarious
can't fucking
to me.
spell. It's so funny. It's so
really
funny.
is.
They have, I think there's, like, a billboard or something that's in the show where it's, like, spelled wrong, and then it's, like, and there's, like, something under it, like, Blitzo, fix this fucking thing. It's like
I love how
Moxxie
bad
trying
he is
to...
at spelling.
Exactly. He's terrible at spelling. Vraska has a heart tattoo with Blitzo's name on it
that
crossed
one.
out. Yeah. Yeah, their whole backstory, I'm like, wow, he is an absolute jackass. Because I'm pretty sure his backstory with her is, like, they dated. She said she loved him, and then he left her in the middle of the night, stole her car, crashed her car, and, like never talked to her again or something like that. Like, it was something really ridiculously terrible.
That's awful.
Yeah, he's an awful fucking person. Yeah, the empty chair, we talked about that earlier, how, like, he's, you know, Lucifer isn't there, but there's an empty chair with a ducky on it. That's, like, again, it's a blink if you miss, you know, blink and you miss kind of moment. They have apps on their phones that are related to the sins. Like, they have they have Lust Finder instead of, like, Tinder. They have a Mammon money banking app. They have it's for all the different sins. They have different apps that are really funny and clever and, like, punny and all that stuff. I like that a lot. It's really cute. It's really funny.
I pulled up the text messages between Blitzo and Stolas, and it talks about, like, whatever you want, it's your night, but it's WUTEVR. And then maybe is spelled MAE space BEE. And then I might be busy is I, and then MITE, and then just the letter B, and then BSUY. I'd be bussy.
Yeah. Bussy.
I might be bussy.
Might be bussy. And then Stolas's, like, texts are these big chunks of
they're, like,
beautiful,
huge,
poetic.
properly, like, there's periods and commas and...
It's gorgeous and poetic, and he's, like, an English teacher. I love him. And again, I think that goes back to, it's interesting because it's a class thing. It's also because Blitzo was in the circus up until he was a teenager. It's not like he went to school or anything. We don't even know if schools are a thing, like, for imps or whatever. We don't know if any of that exists. So, you know,
the
obviously
text is
that makes
so precious.
sense.
Like, Stolas here, he's like... maybe if you prefer, we can skip the bedroom and just relax, maybe. I'm sure you need a break. If you're not up for it, or if it's too tiring, that's perfectly fine. No pressure. We don't have anything going on until next month. Maybe instead of our usual arrangement, we could, catch up this week. Maybe Monday. Like, his texts are so sweet.
They're so sweet, and they're so sad because, obviously, like, there's that they're both the characters and what they're thinking separately about it, right? Because Stolas is trying to foster this relationship of like moving on past sex with Blitz, and then Blitz is thinking, oh, he's getting tired of me. I'm not fucking him good enough. If he gets bored of me, he's going to take the book away, and I'm going to lose like the one chance I have of being successful and like, you know, breaking past this stereotype of being an imp. And obviously you can see that during like their big blow up, where, you know, Blitz is trying desperately to like figure out the best way to really impress him. And then his first thought is that like, oh, you're breaking up with me. You know, am I not like doing well enough in bed? Like, am I not fucking you good enough? And then he's desperate because he knows like if he doesn't have this book, his business is gone. And that means to him, right, Millie and Moxxie are gone.
Yeah.
Because no doubt in his head, like, you know, with the amount of self-doubt he has, he probably thinks that if he doesn't have a business, they're not going to talk to him anymore.
Right.
Right? So it's absolutely, you know, that was devastating watching that. It was so upsetting. It was really, like, they did such a good job of really animating that whole argument of all of a sudden Blitz is blindsided by Stolas being like, I really like you. I have feelings for you. And Blitz is like, what? Excuse me, what the fuck? And then Stolas gets pissed off because Blitz isn't reacting the way he wants. And Blitz is like, you just sprang this on me. How was I supposed to know that you liked me in any sort of way? Because that thought never crossed his head, never crossed his mind, that Stolas would actually like him.
Or do you think that he disassociated it because he also likes him? And if he were worried that he had feelings, that he knows how he responds when other people has feelings. So if he made it in his mind that it wasn't a possibility, then he couldn't run away.
Carry the 2
exactly
times 7. That mathematically adds up.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I felt like the meme where they're like,
I'm like, we get my yarn string and
strings everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
on the board.
Okay. It's always Sunny meme. It's always Sunny meme with the bulletin board. Yeah, exactly.
Hear me out.
Oh, man. Hey, I think oh, wait. No, that's it. But yeah, I think there's like a whole bunch of other little things. Like I think there was like a saga that I was following on Twitter of somebody who saw like there's this little drawing of that Blitz did of these 2 horses getting married. And it's a stupid little drawing. And it's in the background of like a whole bunch of scenes. And then in like one scene it's framed. And then another scene it's like on the table in a frame. And it's just like these cute little things that they have that they, you know, that they show in the show that I really enjoy. And I'm glad I got to make you watch through the whole thing.
Yay!
I will say the songs are good. The songs are not as good as like Hazbin Hotel, where I think like 90% of them are absolute bangers.
I mean 90%. I'm gonna need a higher. I'm gonna need a higher statistic.
Okay, listen. I'm sorry. The song "I'm Sorry" doesn't quite cut it for me, and they have yet. And I know I'm gonna get hate for this because one of my friends, these are her favorite songs. I think that they have yet to actually do a song where Vaggie sings to her ability. I don't like the song she's done. I don't like the rock-ish weird ballads I don't like the 80s ballads. I'm sorry. They're my least played ones of that soundtrack.
No, that's not good. Cut that.
No, I'm
Cut that off the screen. I was trying to wind up, but we're sitting on one chair.
Oh no. What is that one TikTok meme? It's like things I would hit you with if you told me you didn't like this song, and it's like, you know, and they go through the different songs of Wicked, and it's like people holding various things. But I would hit you with if you told me you didn't like that song. It's very funny.
I love that.
Send me that.
It's great. I will. I'll send it to you.
Don't do it. She'll make me do it.
Good.
It's just me winding up in different ways.
Oh, yeah.
Since I can't do it.
Also, if you have not listened to the fandom songs that have been made for the show, you are 100% missing out, because I feel like most of the bangers are really fan-made for Helluva Boss. I showed you one that was actually, Viv liked it so much that she had Bryce Pinkman sing it.
Yeah.
And she animated it, and it was absolutely haunting. absolutely stunning. It was Look My Way. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. There are a few others that are, like, fan done and so, like, really good. But it doesn't matter because none of them are on Spotify.
Rude.
A lot of them are on YouTube Music. I know, because my fiance plays them. So
That tracks.
I'm an expert.
You cannot get any of the Helluva Boss songs sung by the characters on Spotify. You can get the ones, like, the demo reels that are done by, like, Sam Haft and the people that have, like, created the songs. But I think there's, like, some weird copyright issue going on with that, because you can get all of Hazbin. I know. Yep. I'm hoping that they figure it out and we get some songs on there. Because you can, but you have to, like, find them in somebody who recorded it and, like, said it was a podcast or something.
Oh, that's gonna.
We're not doing it, man. We're not.
That's our spin-off. It's just me with a recorder in front of, like, a TV. I'm picturing, like, a big box TV.
I'm picturing you playing a recorder while it plays in the background, like one of the little.
My son is learning that in school right now.
He can play the
play it. Yeah,
old school. That's how we used to do it. If you wanted a song on,
with a
like, your yes. Yeah, no, not that kind of recorder. With, like, a tape recorder.
You heard it here
like,
first,
if you wanted
everyone.
a song,
Mim
if you wanted to
TV
burn a
with
song,
a recorder.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm showing my age here. Beautiful. Hot cross buns in the background.
That's what my son just learned.
I'm so sorry.
I am.
He's really proud of himself.
Sorry.
It's actually really cute. It doesn't really bother me. I can tune it out, and he's so proud of it. It's so cute.
It's precious.
It's really adorable. And just think, he could be watching Hazbin, so I'd rather he play Hot Cross Buns with a recorder.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Parenting.
It's good. I like it. I'm very happy. So I'm gonna open the floor for questions because I'm done my little presentation, but I don't know if you guys had any questions or things that I could possibly answer with my infinite knowledge of lore.
Okay, Doki's hands up. I'll call on Doki.
Doki.
Never mind. I wasn't taking it seriously, and it was going to be really stupid. I'm so sorry.
No,
Go to the
tell me.
principal's
Now I
office
want to
right
know.
now.
Now I want to know. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Are there going to be any other Keyblade holders in the series?
I mean, theoretically.
In theory.
Theoretically, wouldn't then Charlie also be a Keyblade holder?
I don't know. I don't remember in Kingdom Hearts if any of the teenagers had children and then passed on their Keyblade.
Why wouldn't they?
I mean, but she's in charge of the hotel, and that's where the key is.
That's true.
And she's the one who's looking after Kiki, which is the key and a cat. Also, R.I.P. the dragon, Razzle.
No, that was so upsetting, especially because
that was the most devastating.
Well, unfortunately, it was pretty precursor too, because it's in the song where he says, "Usually I charge a sacrificial lamb," like episodes before, and then the sweetest baby ever.
Blech.
Spoilers.
I know.
I hope we see more a continuation of the hyper accurately depicted angels. Like the one that's just eyeballs and stuff.
Biblically accurate angels. Yeah.
Sorry.
Those are words.
Oh.
My fiance says them. I don't. But these are the questions he sent. I'm just reading his questions.
I will say spoilers, but only spoilers if you're not on, like, Viv's TikTok or Twitter or anything.
So you.
But, like, we had a drop of what Abel looks like. Mm-hmm. So now we know what Abel looks like, and I don't know, but I've heard many, many, many people saying that he's going to be voiced by the lead singer of
Creed.
Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy.
Oh, really?
Patrick Stump?
Yeah. Yes, Stump, yeah. I've
really cool.
I've been seeing nonstop people saying that, and I haven't been able to confirm it yet. I haven't tried to confirm it, but I have but I've seen it a lot.
We've got IT Googling it in the back. We're doing some fact checking.
Please do. Please fact check. Because it would
the
make
reporter
sense.
waiting noise.
It would make sense. It'd be pretty cool if it was that.
I would love that. I don't know who Abel is, but I do know who Patrick Stump
Abel
is.
and Cain.
That means nothing to me, I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
Oh, their biblical characters are like the first
I have heard the names before.
Brother Slice's other brother.
Okay.
essentially, yeah, it's the one who's going to take on. It's probably the one who's going to take on, or is taking on after Adam. Now, because now Adam's dead.
Yeah, so it's another person in a certain religion that's regarded as, like, this important religious person, but much like Adam, also asshole.
Yeah.
Honestly, based on design, I think that would be a great voice to go with, so...
Were you able to find anything? Let me see.
No, but I'm just on Google Images, so...
Oh, okay. Well, that is... I can't find anything concrete yet.
I'm dying.
I can't find anything concrete, so I don't know where that rumor started. I would love it, but I can't find anything on him right now and see what it is. Let me see.
I'm on X now.
It is interesting to think, though, that, like, Abel would be in heaven. Like, that in itself is such an interesting concept that, like, it makes you really question, I think, what constitutes truly as a crime and what doesn't. Because, I mean, Abel killing his brother is, like, the first experience of genocide on Earth.
No, it's
like,
Cain
biblically.
that killed his brother. Cain's the evil one.
I thought Abel killed his brother. No, you're right, because Abel was the one who God liked his present better and Cain threw a tantrum. You're right. Okay, cool. Yeah. That fixes it for me.
I know this because my former last name was Cain, and and my brother's best friend, whose mother ran the Sunday school that we all were forced to go to, their last name was Abel.
That's so funny.
It was very funny.
No, you're right. I had it mixed up. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, why would Cain be in heaven? You'd think God would be mad about that.
Yeah.
Nah.
That makes more sense, though.
So question for you. Do you think that...
Sometimes.
Because I've seen...
Possibly.
Maybe.
Better than me. Do you think that Adam will end up in hell?
Yes.
Do you think he's going to get, like, a cool demon form?
I do. I really do. I know most of the internet also thinks that, so it's not like a new cool thought, but I do think so. And I think it's going to be really fun because he's going to then have to go to Charlie's hotel to try to redeem himself.
Can you imagine? I'm sorry, I would die. I'd be so
phenomenal.
happy with him. And because we know that Lucifer's probably going to be staying there more often because when they redid the hotel, there's a whole tower that's an apple that we can assume is where he's probably going to be staying because he's actually like trying to be a good dad.
So I'm really interested in learning more about him as well because there have also been a lot of theories surrounding was Lucifer not in contact with Charlie of his own fruition, or did he have some kind of like agreement or deal that she had to reach out to him first? Because a lot of people are like, it's kind of weird that he hasn't reached out to her and like that he would be like this deadbeat dad, but then she sends him a message and he's all on it, all over there all the time as much as he can be all of a sudden. And so a lot of people are speculating that maybe there was like a bigger reason that he couldn't go there until she asked for him.
Oh, I like that.
I hope so, because I think would... Otherwise, I find Lucifer very strange, and I think it would make his character better for me.
I think so, too.
If there was like a real reason he hadn't been there, besides sad about a baddie. Saddy about a baddie. Which I think leads into the whole... There's a whole debate now on, like, Lilith versus
Eve. Yeah. And,
that's like, a spicy topic online.
I know. People were, like... I say people. It was a coworker who was, like, also really into the show. Who was like, oh, well, that can't be Lilith on the beach.
Because of her necklace?
Yeah, because Lilith in this one picture has necklace. I'm like, you know what's cool about necklaces? You can take them off.
No, but so there are a couple, like, but it's to that point of, like, the show has so many small Easter eggs and things that a lot of people can very easily buy in and be like, why is she wearing this necklace instead? When Eve wore that necklace, why would Lilith wear that necklace? Lilith and Eve don't like each other. And so I won't lie, I don't know if I fully buy into the Lilith and Eve thing, but I think it would be interesting. There was one theory I saw that it was less about Eve having replaced Lilith and that their punishment was that they had to share the same body.
Ooh.
And so during, like, sometimes Lilith, sometimes Eve.
Oh.
And so right now, Eve, maybe later Lilith. And so I thought that was a really cool concept. Whether true or not, I found it fascinating.
That is, because Eve is human. Lilith is, like, what, demon queen? She was, like, one of the first demons. I'm not sure what the mythology is behind Lilith. I know she's, like, the head demon. Head demon boss babe.
In some theory, or in some stories, she was Adam's first wife. And I think that's the one that they follow in Hazbin as well, that she was Adam's first wife. And then she ran off with Lucifer and became baddie. And then Eve married Adam. And they started the world.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I think it's interesting because it's all this, like, biblical information and stuff. And you have to look at, like, well, you know, in some versions of the Bible, there's, like, okay, it's Adam and Eve. Not Adam and Steve. Anyways, Adam and Eve.
Adam and Steve.
Adam and Eve. And Eve is the one who, like, ate the apple and gained knowledge. And they're like, no, that was Lilith. Eve would never. Because then if they make Eve out to be bad, then it's like, oh, well, then obviously the first man also has to be bad because he then had children with her.
Yeah.
So there's a whole weird thing. And then there's the complication of, like, technically they're the same person because she came from his rib.
It's really complicated and interesting because also the way, and I could be wrong about this, but the way I've always heard from theoretical, historical, is that Lilith is more like, it was less of she accidentally ate the apple and more of like I want knowledge, I'm gonna eat this apple. So she's viewed way more as like this like strong female icon than like Eve, who it's more of like, oopsie doopsie, I ate this apple and now everyone's doomed.
Yeah,
well, it's also...
The site saying, like, Lilith was the first wife of Adam. Mm-hmm. According to the first Eve story, Lilith was created by God from dust and placed to live in the garden with Adam. And until problems arose between Adam and Lilith, when Adam tried to exercise dominance over Lilith. One story tells that Lilith refused to lay beneath Adam. Mm-hmm. She believed they were created equal, both from dust of the earth, thus should not have to lay beneath him. Adam disagreed. Lilith fled the garden to gain her independence. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Lilith is a feminist queen, and we love her.
Lilith is supposedly this like feminist
absolute
queen. Yes,
icon.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so
what
her
baddie.
eating the apple was like her choosing her fate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it says Adam told God that Lilith had left, and God sent 3 angels to retrieve her. The 3 angels found Lilith in a cave, bearing children, but Lilith refused to come back to the garden. The angels told her they would kill 100 of her children every day for her disobedience. In revenge, she is said to rob children of life and is responsible for the deaths of infants and stuff. But, like, all this was pushed on her only because she wanted her independence from Adam, or she wanted to be treated as an equal from Adam.
Yeah.
But then after the angel's departure, Lilith tried to return to the garden. But upon her arrival, she discovered that Adam already had another mate.
Yep.
Eve. Out of revenge, Lilith and Adam did it, and then she bore earthbound demons to replace the children killed by the angels.
Okay. That's so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it.
What a strong feminist icon to leave people with.
I know. Good for her. She took matters in her own. She's like, fine, you're going to kill my kids. I'll just have demon children.
I'll make demon babies.
Not that much different from toddlers anyways. Like, go off queen. Okay?
Truly.
Love her.
She got the same experience.
I am so excited for the new season. Because the new season, God, what'd they say? It was like, it's 2025, right?
Is
like
it?
Summer of 2025, I believe.
I thought it was 2026. Is it 2025?
Hang on, let me see here.
I'm hanging.
Hazbin Hotel.
So she's like the mother of demons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is all. I'm reading another source on Lilith origins, and it's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Lilith's defiance of the masculine order forced her to become the ultimate symbol of all that is demonized within the traditional patriarchal society: chaos, seduction, and ungodliness.
Ooh. I guess I
An
do.
icon.
An icon. A queen.
Okay, so there's no specific release date, but they said it's most likely going to be late 2025. early 2026. So they're in storyboarding now, I believe, because obviously they leaked a whole bunch of shit. We know that they have animations, and we know that all the voice acting has been done because a lot of the characters and stuff, a lot of the voice actors are, like Jeremy Jordan, I think, is on tour right now.
Yep.
So they're done all that. I'm not sure. I think obviously the leaks might have also changed a couple of things. Like they might actually change a few things just to try and like not have everything be completely spoiled. I mean, it wasn't completely spoiled, but there was a lot spoiled. But I'm guessing, they really haven't done a whole lot of the animation yet, except for storyboarding and basics. So probably late 2025, which sucks. But Helluva Boss probably ain't coming out until 2026 either, so.
Yeah.
I know.
What was that? You drowning?
What?
You went, what? Don't say what like you don't know what I was referencing. Being gaslit.
But yes, I guess until those come out, we'll just have to go back to our regularly scheduled, mostly anime-focused podcast episodes.
Oh no, we have to talk about villainesses?
We already talked about Liz. What do you mean?
No, more. I want to talk about my cute little, I'm going to be such a big bad villainess, the sweetest, most precious angel to ever live.
I think the next one that we were talking about was fan fiction.
That's true too.
Was doing a fan fiction episode. Obviously not on like specific fan fiction because it's goes on forever, but like talking about the basics, what it is, why Anne Rice sucks.
Where to find it, how to support artists.
I don't know, but I'll do research.
The legality, right? How the longest fan fiction ever is a Smash Brothers fan fiction.
No one's shocked.
No one's shocked. It's a Smash Brothers fan fiction, which go off, King.
No spoilers for the fanfic episode, but...
I won't. I'm interested because I want to do some research. I want to figure out, like, dynamics. I want to know like, who writes fanfiction. I want to know, like, age ranges. I want to know, like, what are...
get the stats.
It's a bunch of 15-year-olds. It's the middle schoolers we talked about.
Lord. Watching House in a Hotel, and then when it's over, they're going to write their fanfic.
Yeah. Be normal. I need a normal 15-year-old like me who wrote Harry Potter and Inuyasha fanfiction at 15, okay?
I like to think that was a mix of it. It was Neville and Kagura.
Beautiful.
But anyway, that's it for the Hellaverse podcast episode today. Thanks again, Mim, who's subbing in while Tia is on maternity leave. So Mim's going to be our sub co-host or our dom co-host, whichever she prefers.
Love.
Bad joke.
Bad joke.
Beautiful joke.
An anime.
But yeah, this is Girls Gaze Animes on the Hellaverse. We'll see you next time. And in the meantime, remember to like, subscribe, follow us on all channels, especially since TikTok might be going away. So follow us on YouTube and Instagram. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.